What's going on, good people, man? This is your boy Small Soldier right here, back in action once again. This time here, want to talk with you guys and ask the question, which other guest characters should appear in Soul Calibur 6? What are you guys' thoughts on this right here, man? So with that, let's get started. So Namco has officially announced that Geralt from The Witcher 3 is going to be guest starring in the upcoming game Soul Calibur 6. Now prior to this announcement, there had been a few hints or clues that Geralt was possibly going to be showing up in another game. Now some people thought it was going to be Smash Brothers, other people thought that we might possibly see him in a type of Witcher spin-off game, but a lot of people, man, most people I would say, speculated that it was more than likely going to be Soul Calibur 6, and with a few reasons, right? First, I would say aesthetically, it just makes sense. Although, if you could put Darth Vader in Soul Calibur at this point, you could literally put up anybody and get away with it. I mean, they could put Dom, Big Bird, and the Teletubbies and get away with it, man. So, nevertheless, even with that though, nevertheless, the look of Geralt fits the Soul Calibur series. Two, Namco and CD Projekt Red do have a connection together, and that Namco did distribute and publish The Witcher 3 in Europe, so they've had some business dealings in the past. And three, he's multi-platform, which makes all of this much easier, man. Personally, I like the choice of Geralt. I'm always fascinated with whoever they choose to be guest characters in Soul Calibur games. However, man, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, from a graphics standpoint, I thought Geralt looked okay. Like, I wasn't overly impressed by what I saw, and I know some people have been having issues with the way Soul Calibur 6 has looked up to this date. But even with that though, I'm still excited to play with him, and I can't wait to get my hands on the game, right? Now, the question becomes, is that it? Right? Is he going to be the only guest character we see? And if not, who else would we like to see featured in this game? I've seen a lot of folks been asking for and requesting 2B from Nier, William from Neo, and Bayonetta, man. And to be honest with you guys, I'll be very surprised if we get console specific guest characters this time around. That really hasn't happened since Soul Calibur 2, if I'm not mistaken. Although Soul Calibur on the PSP did have Kratos, but in terms of a home console Soul Calibur fighting game, it's been a while, man, so it's been a minute. So even though I do think 2B and William would be awesome additions to the roster, I don't think we'll be getting console specific guest characters this time around. I mean, the only way I could see that happening, possibly happening, is if Soul Calibur 6 someday later on down the line comes to the Switch, and instead of having Geralt, they have Link. But other than that, man, I don't think we'll get any PS4, Xbox One, or PC specific characters. I mean, you never know, right? I mean, I could be wrong. You never know. For all I know, we might end up having Gordon Freeman playing as a playable character in this game, right? In terms of Bayonetta being a guest character, I mean, it is possible, and she kind of fits the universe. But if she is included, man, I would be very interested to see how they implement her guns, how they work around all that right there, man. Another set of guest characters that seem to be highly requested is Tallin from the Middle-earth, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor series, Bayek from Assassin's Creed Origins, and Dante from Devil May Cry. Now, Tallin and Bayek would, in my opinion, easily fit right into the universe just on the way they look. The only problem I've seen is that there have been some rumors that Tallin would show up as a guest character in a WB fighting game, whether it's Injustice or Mortal Kombat. For those of y'all who don't know, WB also owns the Middle-earth series, so it's all underneath the same umbrella, so Warner Brothers may be saving him for that. And I'll be very surprised if we get another Assassin's Creed character in a Soul Calibur game, considering that it's already been done once. I don't know if they'll go ahead and repeat that same cycle. And as for Dante, man, I mean, in my opinion, he fits the least from a cosmetic standpoint. But the funny thing is, man, he actually was supposed to be a guest character in Soul Calibur 3, but it just didn't work out for whatever reason, man. So for all of these three right here, man, I could kind of somewhat see it happening, although I'm a little unsure. So I would say I'm like 50-50 on these three right here. In my opinion, right, I think it would be damn crazy, ludicrous, if they just didn't include someone from the Dark Souls series. I mean, so many characters would work, man. You wouldn't have to worry about any license agreement, all that type of nonsense, man. Basically just plug and play. And a lot of folks have been requesting various Dark Souls characters to be featured. So I am hopeful that at some point, man, we get someone from that franchise, because I just think it would work. and also because so many people seem to be clamoring for someone from the Dark Souls series, man. Lastly, man, some possible honorable mentions that I would like to include, man, is one, someone from an SNK game like Samurai Showdown, man. I mean, I think a lot of characters from that franchise could work. Or another one that's been highly requested is Guts from Berserk, right? I mean, I think you could definitely plug him into the Soul Calibur franchise. On a side note, if you haven't read or watched Berserk, I do recommend doing so, man. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the recent anime adaptation that came out like a year or two ago with the weird looking CG, but the manga and the old school anime is definitely on point, man. I really enjoyed listening to the soundtrack from the anime as well too. I haven't read the manga in a minute. I haven't read it in a while. Last time I was reading it, dudes, them was in the middle of the ocean sailing somewhere, right? So it's been a while, man. But if you guys have a chance to check that stuff out, I really recommend doing so. So folks, that is pretty much that, man. That completes another discussion video where we just talked about which of the characters should appear in Soul Calibur 6. Let me know what you guys thoughts are in the comments below. As always, I appreciate the support. And with that there, fellas, man, I guess I will see you guys in the next video.